Having an unpaid medical bill can impact your life in multiple ways.
When these medical bills end up on your report, they act as a big no button thwarting life aspirations, whether that's ability to get a mortgage, a car, a loan. And so it's really, stamping on people's dreams.
It's why Kieran Gopal with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a U.S. government agency, says they're proposing rule changes to how medical debt impacts your credit.
What this proposal is effectively saying to people is, look, the CFPB gets it, we have your back, and that's why it would effectively remove medical bills from people's reports.
He says there are two main parts to the CFPB's proposal. First, it would prohibit credit reporting companies from including medical debts and collection information or reports to creditors. The second would prohibit lenders from considering outstanding medical bills when examining your credit.
The reason we're doing this is for three main reasons. The first is that a lot of this is just junk data. It's inaccurate. It doesn't really make sense. The second is that it's not predictive of somebody's ability to repay a loan. And when you think about that, it makes sense because, a medical bill is really telling you something more about, a sudden tragic illness, perhaps, rather than whether somebody's likely to pay their mortgage. And third, it can act as a tool of coercion, especially when the debt collector puts the bill on your report. They understand that you want to get that bill off your report because you want to access, credit, something that's more important. And so they have you over a barrel and they can coerce you and pressure you to pay a bill that you may not even owe.
While the CFPB works on finalizing their proposal, Patricia Kelmar with the U.S. Public Interest Research Group, or PIRG, says there are some things you can do now to protect yourself from medical debt and costly bills.
One thing highlighted in your report was to learn how to negotiate. Why is that the case? And what are some of the top 3 ways people can learn how to negotiate?
Always try to get your insurance company to cover as much as possible. But if you end up having to owe perhaps your deductible or other parts of the bill that aren't covered, it's important to call the billing office and negotiate a price down. You'd be surprised how many times they'll give you a deal or offer you a discount and be able to bring down your price for you. So that's really important.
And when it comes to debt collectors, Kelmar says they must prove you still owe the bill they're trying to collect on.
So if they're telling you there's an old hospital bill you didn't pay or a doctor's bill, you can ask them and they must provide you a copy of that bill with the details. So then you can double check with your records to make sure whether you actually really owe it.
And if they keep calling, Kelmar says it's important you speak up.
People should know that just because their debt collector is calling, it doesn't necessarily mean that you owe that bill, and you might actually not. So if a debt collector continues to come after you, there is an agency, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and you can file a complaint against that debt collector.
With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Caresse Jackman.